Hey guys, welcome back. This is the third video in my 4-video series, Painting Belfire's Companions, where I'm painting miniatures for my players of their characters in the campaign of Dungeons & Dragons I'm running. If you haven't checked out the first two videos, that's Yeldrin Ezernith, the Elven Cleric, and Grotto the Crusher of Skulls, the Dwarf Fighter. Those were both really fun paint jobs. I'm assuming this one's going to be fun again. Today we have Aquae Furtivae, the Elf Rogue, and just like with Grotto, where I had to get a miniature that was kind of off class, the Rogue miniatures that I saw at my local game shop didn't represent Aquae as a character as well as the Ranger did. He loves his bow, he loves his rapier, the armor is very similar. This does have a raven, which he does not really have in the game, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to remove that without damaging the mini, so we'll see. But this is our first in-person game since we've started, and we've been playing this campaign almost every single week for about 9 or 10 months now. So I thought it'd be really fun to paint some miniatures, and these sets are great because it comes with two. So they can have one and I can keep one because we do predominantly play over Discord and video chat. So I can have one with me to represent their characters if I have to recreate encounters on dungeon tiles or whatever, and they can have one with them. I'm gonna paint it up and match it to a colored set of dye that I have. Yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. This is Aquae Furtivae. He comes from the far-off woodland Elven realm of Fero, where he grew up in an impoverished rural village. And as he grew up, he started learning combat, sleight of hand, and then started to really attribute the unfortunes of the people around him to the disproportionate allocation of wealth and power by the Elvish oligarchy that were ruling. And as he grew older, he became a commissioned thief, did quite a lot of thieving from the well-off to give back into the poor communities. And then he claims that he once went on to slay a fully grown dragon single-handedly. For now, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm sure we'll find out his prowess against dragons at some point. But yeah, this has been a fun project so far, and I'm looking forward to painting this. Let's get painting. So before we get on to the painting, I am going to try and get rid of this raven because it does not fit his character or his class. It seems pretty flimsy, so I might just try sniping it off with this X-Acto knife, and hopefully it doesn't look too weird. Or hopefully I don't accidentally dismember him. Perfect. Here's the little raven. We'll keep that with Grotto's spell for later in case for some reason he develops the power to call a raven. And we'll just clean this up a little bit. Try a little bit of sandpaper on that. Though I think these are resin and not PLA, so I don't know how well sanding it's gonna work. I think that looks pretty good. We can get on to painting. So for Aquae's skin, I'm gonna mix a little bit of fluff pink with a little bit of ancient mummy because he has a very fair skin tone, but not like pale. So I wanna give it a bit lighter than the fluff pink, but I don't want it to get pale with like a white. That's the only skin we can see on this one. And that'll be the same on this one. The first descriptor we have is brown shoulder pads, but we're gonna paint under the shoulder pads first so we don't get as much cross-contamination. And it's green upper body stuff. So we're gonna paint his upper body clothes with just a straight up treant green because I think it'll darken up enough with the wash to really rogue him up. But he also has a lot of other light colored stuff, so I don't know if he's really the dark color kind of guy. So I wasn't given a description for his pants, but considering the color scheme he's already going for and the fact that he's a wood elf, I'm gonna assume his pants are gonna be brown. So I've mixed a very small amount of angelic yellow in with some bugbear brown just to get a little bit of a lighter variation, so it'll be kind of closer to the lightness of the green we used. And then when we give him that really dark wash, it should all come together really well, I think. So his boots are supposed to be beige, so I've actually taken a little bit of the skin tone I mixed and a little bit of the pant color I mixed and mixed them together. So we're gonna try this color out, and if it doesn't quite hit the mark, we can always add something, maybe a little bit of gray to gray it up to a bit more of a beigey color. But I think that looks kind of good. And once again, like, you gotta always pay attention because the wash will darken it and change it what it looks like a little bit. And we're counting on that a lot for this guy because I don't typically paint my minis with this much brightness. Okay, we're gonna move on to the brown shoulder pads and etc. So I'm just gonna use rigid leather again to do the gloves and the shoulder pads and a few other, the belts maybe. Though I might do some of the belts in standard bugbear brown like I do generally try, because it gives a little bit more variation on the color, and I like the multiple brown tones because it makes it feel a little bit less stale. Also, I find the more parts you get colored, the more you start to realize where the boundaries between different things are. Like, see here, there's no green on that because I couldn't decide if it was glove or not. And at first I thought it was part of the glove, but now that I'm painting the glove and I have the shirt painted, I'm starting to think maybe that is sleeve. Well, you gotta let all that stuff dry, see what we need to touch up, and we're gonna go with our standard bugbear brown weapons. This guy's got a lot of brown on him, so I might have to figure out a way to fix that. But I'm unsure of how to do it as of yet. I guess he's a wood elf, he should probably be mostly green and brown anyways. We can put our abyssal black on and get our straps painted up. I do tend to be a little bit more careful with the black. I don't know if it actually is harder to cover up if you spill over, but for some reason I just feel like it is. Okay, we'll do our angelic yellow pouches. I just like doing that color for pouches. I don't know why. I guess it looks kind of like a money sack maybe. Although I don't know where I got that idea. But it adds a nice pop of color that kind of stems away from the rest of the color scheme. Now for the hair, he says blonde hair. I haven't quite figured out how to mix blonde yet. But I'm gonna do a little bit of angelic yellow. That's the base of blonde hair, I think, is the yellow. And maybe a little bit of ancient mummy. And a tiny dab of white. And we'll hope and pray to God that it looks good. We're gonna mithril up the weapons with our metallic paint. Do the sword and just the arrowheads. We're gonna fletch the arrows white. We're ready for the base. Looking pretty fresh here. Now my boy Aquae here is a wood elf, so he's gonna be in the woods. So we're gonna start the base paint with some browns and greens and yellows, and then we're gonna add our special stuff. Okay, we're gonna use our super glue to glue these guys on the base and let that green paint dry. And we'll add our last special secret ingredient. Then we can do our wash, and then we can match our dye. Okay, so to get our woodland base done, now that this paint's dry, I'm gonna take, I'll use a toothpick. We're gonna take a little bit of just white glue on the end of a toothpick, and we're just gonna dab a little bit of it on. Dab a little bit of it on. Careful only to get it on the base. We don't want it on the boots. I'm just gonna spread it around a little bit on the base. We're gonna take some preserved forest moss. You get this at the dollar store. We're just gonna grind it up into a little bit of a powder. Sprinkle it on. Sprinkle it on. That looks pretty neat. Now we're gonna let that dry a little bit and get to our wash. I'm actually fairly impatient, so I'm just gonna wash it after only a couple of minutes. Let's see if we were right about our colors. Presenting in its final form, Aquae Furtivae. And the Aquae Furtivae set of minis turned out really great, I think. I like how I did just what I was hoping it would do. I painted it really bright and let that dark wash kind of darken it up and give it that grimy, adventure-y kind of look to suit the other ones. I'm looking at the 3 sets that I've painted so far, and they look really cool together, I think, especially matched up with their dice sets. So if you liked that, or if you have any tips or tricks of your own, or anything you want to say, just leave me a comment, hit that like button, and if you want to see the next video, the 4th member of Belfire's Companions coming up, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell that's coming up. Definitely don't forget to check out the other 2 videos and some of the other stuff we got on this channel. Lots of fun stuff you can do inside and out. I'll catch you guys next time.